this friendly guy named Cry666 was asking me about a model that he did some merging of models with the matrix eater, and apparently it corrupted his model. So here's the model we were looking at right here, and an interesting thing that happened was that the event objects that handle whether the model has like death sounds or leaves footprints on the ground, these settings were sort of corrupted. We're not exactly sure why, but I was going to show you right now, if that did happen to you, how you could do that with an import from another model. So for example, let's actually use, I was thinking about the footman here. So you can do this import, and if you actually had the original model that had gotten corrupted to become this one, you could use the original model for what I'm about to do. I didn't have his original model today. I only have the model that's missing the data entries. So what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use the grunt. So if I import from the orc grunt here, this should give us an example of how you could restore these sort of settings that got lost. So basically, you want the walk animation, and you want to just merge it into the walk animation of your final model, as well as the character's death animation. We'll merge that in right here. So you put both of those. You don't need to use any like bone data or any of that animating stuff, and you just go into where we have the sound right here. So, for example, sound X DGRU would be the death of the grunt sound. So you could toggle that on, import that. And then FPT is footprint, so now we can like bring in the various footprints. I'm a little curious what these other things in the grunt model are. But one option would be just kind of go in here and import them all and find out what happens. Usually oh, this is ability berserk. So the grunt has a berserk animation. We don't probably need that. Yeah, so we'll just get this other stuff. I'm forgetting what these little SPL things are. You can actually ask Magos. That program typically has these in there. Let's see if we go to grab the grunt units orc grunt. We should be able to see. Oh, okay, spawn. This is like the, when it dies, like there's like a little blood effect, and this is like the spawn of the blood effect. Yeah, and apparently that's what all those are. So you can import all of these. That should just kind of restore all that data to the character model. And then, let's see, event objects don't have visibility settings, so they don't show up over here. They just have those sounds that, because we're sliding in the animations with this time scale into pre-existing for the walk animation and the death animation, it should automatically bring those things in at the relevant points in time in the character model. And in theory, we should be pretty good after that. You can actually see. I'm almost wondering if we might be able to guess some of these. These are probably like the footprints here and here. But for the time being, we're just going to save this and test it, and I'm going to give you an example of how this can work. So we're going to call this restored version. And here I have some map I was testing in. Let's download. It's not actually in downloads today. We're in Warcraft models. Warcraft models requests. Cry666. Enter trigger restored. Alright, I'm going to save here, and this should give us. Oop, there we go. We're going to load the restored version, which should theoretically look no different. Oh, very interesting. It's not working today. So this might be a bug in my code. Let's see when we convert this guy to a text file. What do we expect here? Alright, we have these various spawn effects. Oh, alright. I had opened a version of the model where I didn't delete the old ones, right? So we said like some of these were corrupted. Everything before the grunt data were these corrupted entries, and here are the ones I just added. So I'm doing a file edit delete model components, which basically imports them. It uses the import dialog for convenience. So by choosing not to import these things, what I'm actually saying to do is delete them out of the model. It's sort of a needlessly complicated function there. Ideally, in a future version of the software, I'll make it that you don't have to do that. But we did just delete them. So now that the corrupted entries are gone again in this particular copy I had open, we have the good entries, but we don't have the corrupted entries. And what that'll mean is that I should be able to load that version of the model again. And it's called restored 1. So we should be able to just go to this unit, give it the model restored 1, and we'll see that there. He looks good. And now in game we should be able to see the footprints, and he'll currently have the grunt death noise when he dies. So let's see if that works. Loading up the game here. It should only take a second. And we'll find out if our work is successful. Just a little bit of loading going on. Awesome. Yeah, so here we got the game. We should be able to see what is going on there. Obviously this is a map where I was testing a bunch of other stuff. But here we go. We got these knights. And should be able to attack each other.
Absolutely. Your Honor. Command me.
Does he leave footprints? Yes, so he has little footprints there on the ground as he runs around. So we've effectively restored them. And there you go. He has all the sounds and stuff of a grunt when he dies. So that would be how you would restore those nodes, basically, if you wanted to do that. It also looks like we have this flag flying in the death animation and not being hidden. So maybe another day I'll make a video on how to fix that. But here today, hopefully you've seen and enjoyed my video on how to fix a bug in a model that I'm still not exactly sure what causes it. But we did observe that to be a problem that was true in this model. If it occurs again, hopefully you can use this to sort of replace those nodes and fix it. Hope you have a good day.